Tonight at 23:30, half an hour until New Year's Eve. I walked up the circular iron staircase to the top of the tower. My footsteps rubbed against the iron stairs echoed in the tower room. The tower is deserted, there is only one overseer downstairs. Another overseer was celebrating New Year's holidays with his family. They are no strangers to me, men who always visit here every New Year's Eve. The city watchtower was specially built to monitor the entire state of this small town. Every incident happening in the city can be seen clearly through the binoculars on the top of the tower. In addition, changes in natural conditions affecting the city such as rainstorms, landslides and forest fires can be reported by the supervisors of this tower to be forwarded to residents. The city watchtower is actually open to the public. But unfortunately only a few people who want to visit here. Most think visiting the city's watchtower is old-fashioned. In addition, because it is located a bit far from the city. Although the townspeople rarely visit here, but not so with me. This watchtower is my favorite place. When I was little I often played here because it was a comfortable place. As an adult I visit this tower once a year on New Year's Eve. Its location, which is slightly higher than the city, makes it easy to see the fireworks lit from every corner of the city. This tower is also a place full of memories for me. He kept my secret story. A story that I probably won't be able to tell anyone. The story that started 10 years ago when I met that girl. 10 years ago. What day is it? I asked myself as I opened my eyes. I've been having a hard time remembering the day lately, and I always wake up exhausted. I took the cell phone that I put under the bed so that no one would disturb my sleep. I often have trouble sleeping. I raised my phone in front of my face and looked at the date on the screen. Tuesday, December 31st, 2008. I remember that today is the last day of the year, and I plan to go home so I can have a New Year's holiday with my family. Today there is only one course that I have to follow, and after that, by train, I will go straight to my hometown. The distance between my hometown and the university where I study is only about 3 hours. My hometown is a small village that is flanked by hills. The journey on the train is accompanied by green expanses of grass, rivers, and fields. Even though it's small, I like living there. Apart from being beautiful, the people are also friendly. The air there is also free of pollutants. It's different from the big city that I currently have to live in while I'm in college. Traffic jams are common there, and the residents don't know each other. Mom and Dad are happy to welcome me home. This year I rarely go home, I don't know what is stopping me from doing it. My college grades also dropped, which was much different from the start of college last year. My appearance was a mess, and while carrying a furry backpack, I met my father and mother. It was different from me before, who always looked neat in front of my father and mother. Even though my skin is tanned, it's always clean. My straight black hair is also always neatly combed. Surprisingly, I do not know what causes it. Then today at the end of this year, I decided to go home. I feel like there's a promise I have to keep at the end of this year, but I forgot what it was. In the evening, the townspeople are busy preparing fireworks to be lit on New Year's Eve. There are also those who plan to spend New Year's Eve downtown. Mom and Dad asked me to go on vacation, but I refused. Something told me to go to the city watchtower, and my body automatically followed suit. I walked past the dark knoll at night and up the winding iron steps until I reached the top of the town's watchtower. There I looked at the twinkling city lights that looked like fireflies from a distance. I daydreamed of looking at them. Not long after the launch of the first fireworks. The fireworks were like rockets that shot up into the air, then exploded and splashed their light in all directions. Followed by other fireworks. In the midst of the festive atmosphere, I met her. A long-haired girl smiled sweetly at me from the spire door. She wore a white knee-length dress and a necklace with a star pendant around her neck. We hit it off even though we didn't know each other's names. She took me around the tower and on a walk downtown. The girl says she is just visiting her grandma this New Year and has to come back tomorrow evening. The two of us spend time together. We talked all night and went to the market near the harbor the next day. We're making the most of the time before she comes home tonight. She was always quiet when I asked her name, but I felt like I knew her very well. Before leaving, she said that she would come back to meet me at the top of the tower next year to see the fireworks with me. After that meeting, I started to get back to being cheerful about my day. My spirit appeared and started hanging out with my friends. I studied hard and my grades returned to how they were when I first entered college. My friends were happy to see that I was back to normal and started to set me up with girls they knew. But I politely refused. I've always looked forward to meeting that girl at the top of the tower. That's how we meet every New Year's Eve. Her gentle and polite demeanor made me feel at home with her for long. I flaunted my success at university to her. I said there was already a job waiting for me when I finished college. I often invite her to meet my parents, but I never get to because of time constraints. She had to come home the next day, and her parents were very hard on her to come home on time. Everything went smoothly until it was time for my graduation. It was exactly the 5th year I met her. 5 years ago. That night, like the previous New Year's Eve, I went to the top of the tower to meet the girl. Unusually, the girl had come first and was waiting for me. From her face, she looked sad. She told me that night was the last night we could see each other. I was confused and asked why she said that. She didn't answer. Then, right at the launch of the first fireworks, she climbed up the spire wall. I panicked. Is she going to commit suicide? I asked myself. I wanted to speak, but strangely, at that moment, neither my body nor my lips could move. I just looked at her, worried. On top of the wall, she turned and smiled at me. Then slowly, she threw herself backward. No. I shouted before my lips could be moved. My hand tried to grab her hand, but it didn't work. I saw her body fall straight down from a height. Suddenly, before reaching the ground, the girl's body glowed and disappeared like the air. I rubbed my eyes. Maybe something was wrong with my eyesight. I ran down the tower stairs and searched for the girl's body around the tower, but I couldn't find it. When I had given up looking for it, suddenly a group of fireflies approached me and formed a strange line. The fireflies seemed to point me somewhere, and I followed them. I arrived at a field behind the mountain that grew purple hibiscus flowers. The light behind the mountain, which should have been dark, turned purple, similar to the color of the hibiscus flowers growing there. Then I saw the girl, unharmed, walking towards me. She took off the star necklace around her neck and gave it to me. When holding the star necklace, my memory immediately returned. Samudra, hurry up a bit, we'll be late. A girl in high school uniform and long hair screamed in annoyance in my yard. Dewey. I remember the girl's name. She is my next-door neighbor and friend since childhood. We've been together since birth because our parents were friends and happened to have children close together. Yeah, yes, you bastard. It'll be over soon. Who told you to wait for me? It's like kindergarteners going to school together, I said. And I quickly tied my shoelaces. You should be thanking me for waiting, otherwise I will wait for you to come to school late, you know. She replied irritated. I didn't answer and just chuckled. Then we ran to school after I hit her on the head to chase me. After that my memory sped up. Our friendship slowly turned into lovers. Dewey is always there for me. With her I passed beautiful times. We bought a cell phone for the first time together. I also gave her a necklace with a star pendant for her birthday. Our parents are also happy to see us get along. We started planning for the future, going to school, where and what jobs we want. Dewey and I planned to study at the same place, but fate had other plans. Dewey failed to enter the same university as me, and her parents planned to send Dewey to study abroad. Before leaving, Dewey promised to meet me every New Year at the town watchtower where we played when we were little. Then on the following New Year's Eve I heard the news that the bus Dewey was traveling on had an accident on her way here. Dewey herself was one of the victims who died in the accident. The day of Dewey's funeral was the saddest day for me. His father and mother cried, as well as my parents. All of our friends have come to mourn. They greeted Dewey's parents and me. I just received those hands blankly, my mind wasn't there. I still can't accept that Dewey has died. Everyone cries, but not me. After that, I lived my days without enthusiasm. Every night I cry because I remember Dewey. Our hopes are all unattainable. My eyes are always puffy in the morning. My zest for life is gone. I was thinking, what's the point of putting effort into everything when Dewey, who made me do these things, is no longer in the world? Sometimes I think to go after her to meet her there. My grades were dropping, and I couldn't concentrate on my surroundings. I also avoided returning to this city and buried my memories of Dewey deep inside. Unknowingly, my subconscious erased all memories of Dewey. Then, a year later, I, who no longer had any memories of Dewey, returned to this city for the New Year's holiday. On New Year's Eve, I went to the tower where Dewey and I had promised to meet. There, Dewey kept her promise to meet me. After that incident, in the morning I was found unconscious in a hibiscus field by a resident. I can't tell my family what happened that night because I don't know whether it really happened or not. But at that time, my hand was holding the star necklace that Dewey had given to me. A few days later, I went through my day in a bit of a daze. I still remember what happened that night. But it didn't last long. I started to accept the return of my memories with Dewey and was able to let her go. I also got the job I've wanted for a long time. Then one day, a woman who had moved to our company came. Her name was Rara. The woman's face was very similar to Dewey's, but Rara had short hair and narrow eyes. I was given the task of introducing Rara to the company's conditions, which then made us closer. The more I get to know Rara, the more I know that she is not Dewey. Her cheerful and slightly humorous demeanor can help me forget Dewey. With him, the events on New Year's Eve felt like a dream. Every time I hold her hand, Rara tells me that she is real. By this time, I had reached the top of the tower. While waiting for the fireworks, I smiled, remembering what happened 5 years ago. I thanked Dewey, who came to see me at that time. If, at that time, Dewey had not come, maybe now I would not be standing here. These events are now like flashes of a dream to me. I don't know if it actually happened or not. But what is certain is that right now I'm holding the star necklace that Dewey gave me. Papa! A small sound startled me. I turned and saw my 3-year-old daughter Eva. He is being held by Rara, his mother. Eva, are you tired of going up the stairs? Come here, Daddy. She called me closer. I grabbed the little girl in my arms and held Rara's hand. We did not come together and only promised to meet at this place. I came here straight from the office, while Eva and Rara came from my father's and mother's house. While looking at the sights of the city, we are waiting for the New Year's fireworks. Remembering my memories with Dewey makes me appreciate more time with the people I love when they are there, so I won't regret it when they really leave later. I really thank Dewey and I no longer want to erase those memories. It wasn't long before fireworks began to fill the sky. Eva screamed happily, and Rara looked at her in amazement. This place will start to become our family favorite every year. Slowly, I lowered Eva from my arms, then put a star necklace around her neck. Happy birthday, Eva, I said this while kissing her neck.